Lila Starling and the Starlight Compass. Moonhaven always carried a whisper of magic, especially under the silver gaze of the moon. From her favourite perch in the attic, Lila Starling could see the entire town spread out like a patchwork quilt. The cobblestone streets twisting like ribbons, the glowing sands of the beach sparkling faintly, and the lighthouse's golden beams sweeping the horizon. Tonight, however, her eyes were fixed on something much closer. A dusty, leather-bound journal. "Another one of your mysteries, Grandma Maris," she muttered, turning a yellowed page. Her grandmother's notes filled the margins, scribbled maps, constellations, and cryptic phrases like "the forest listens when it's quietest." The attic smelled of old paper and sea salt, the air stirred gently by the breeze slipping through the half-open window. Beside her, Felix the fox lounged on a pile of maps, his fluffy tail flicking lazily. "Honestly, Lila," Felix yawned, his amber eyes half-closed, "why must you dive into these things at night? I'm far too dashing to be mistaken for a nocturnal creature." "You're only here because I saved you from that trap in the woods," Lila teased, nudging him with her elbow. "Don't act like you don't love my adventures." Felix rolled onto his back, paws in the air. "Adventures are fine. It's danger I'd rather skip." Lila laughed, but her attention soon wandered back to her locket. The star-shaped charm felt warm against her skin, pulsing faintly as if it held its own heartbeat. Her grandmother had told her it was special, a guide for when she needed it most, but so far all it had done was hum softly on occasion. Every day, Lila explored Moonhaven with that same curiosity, hunting for traces of her grandmother's magical tales. She spent her mornings wandering the shimmering sands, afternoons sketching peculiar seashells in her journal, and evenings with Clara Reed, her best friend and neighbour. Clara's inventions often clashed with Lila's more whimsical pursuits. "Magic is just science we don't understand yet," Clara would say, adjusting her glasses as she tinkered with her latest gadget. "One day, I'll prove it." "Sure, Clara. And one day, I'll find proof of Grandma's worlds," Lila would reply with a grin. Their debates always ended with laughter, but deep down Lila's heart ached to find something real. Something that would make her grandmother's stories more than just stories. Tonight, as the town quieted and the lighthouse beams slowed its sweep, the locket began to hum again. Only this time it was stronger. "Felix," Lila whispered, clutching the charm. "It's happening." The fox sat up, ears twitching. "What's happening?" A faint glow seeped from the edges of the locket, casting tiny constellations onto the attic walls. Lila's breath caught as she opened it, revealing a swirling map made of light. "Do you see this?" she gasped. Felix leapt to her side, his nose twitching. "I see it, but I don't trust it." The map shifted and spun, the lights forming a clear path towards the Silverwood Forest on the edge of Moonhaven. "Looks like I have somewhere to be," Lila murmured, excitement and nerves tingling in her chest. Felix groaned. "Somewhere we have to be, you mean?" Grabbing her journal and a lantern, Lila bolted for the attic stairs, Felix reluctantly trotting after her. She didn't know what waited in the Silverwood, but she knew one thing. Her grandmother's stories had never felt more alive. Ciao. The path to the Silverwood Forest seemed longer at night, cloaked in shadows that whispered with every step. Lila held her lantern high, its golden glow painting the cobblestone streets and Felix's fiery red fur. The locket continued to pulse faintly, its rhythm quickening as they drew closer to the forest edge. "Are you sure about this?" Felix asked, his ears twitching nervously. Forests at night are never good news. Too many uninvited guests. Lila grinned, though her heart thumped with the same uncertainty. "Uninvited guests make the best stories." She tightened her grip on the locket. "Besides, we're not alone. Grandma's compass is guiding us." The moment they crossed into the Silverwood, the air changed. It was cooler, heavier, as if the forest itself was alive and listening. Moonlight filtered through the canopy, turning the leaves silver. The ground beneath their feet was soft, almost springy, as if it welcomed their presence. But the quiet was unsettling. "Lila," Felix said, his voice low, "does it feel, different to you?" "Definitely," she whispered back. Her eyes darted to the swirling constellations projected from the locket, which now hovered just above the compass, etched in her grandmother's journal. The two seemed to merge, shifting and aligning to form an intricate star map. A sudden sound, a soft sob, faint but clear, broke the silence. Lila froze. "Did you hear that?" "Unfortunately," Felix muttered, his fur bristling. Following the sound, they discovered a figure sitting at the base of a glowing tree. The traveller was draped in shimmering fabric that shifted colours like the night sky. Their face, though kind, looked weary, and their eyes held a faraway sadness. "Hello?" Lila ventured, stepping closer. The traveller lifted their gaze, startled. "You can see me?" Their voice was soft, like a melody carried on the wind. "Of course," Lila said gently. "Who are you? Are you lost?" The traveller hesitated. I think so. My name is Astra, but I can't remember much else." They looked down at their hands, faintly glowing with the same starlight as the locket. "I was searching for something, someone, but the forest twisted my path." Felix raised an eyebrow. "Twisting paths, glowing strangers, and I'm sensing a theme here." Lila ignored him, crouching to meet Astra's gaze. "Maybe we can help. This compass." She held up the locket, which hummed in recognition. "It led me here. Maybe it's connected to you." Astra's expression brightened, but only for a moment. "It might be. But the forest, it's not safe. There are shadows here, things that thrive on confusion and fear. They've taken pieces of my memory. I can't find my way without them." Felix groaned. "Fantastic. So now we're not just in a spooky forest, we're in a spooky magic forest." But Lila's mind was already racing. "What if we retrace your steps? If we can solve the forest's riddles, maybe we can piece your memories back together." The traveller nodded slowly. "Perhaps, but the shadows will try to stop you. They guard the forest's secrets fiercely." "Then we'll just have to outsmart them," Lila said with a determined smile. As they delved deeper into the forest, the challenges began almost immediately. The first was a series of whispering trees, their trunks carved with riddles that shifted whenever Lila tried to read them aloud. "What shines but does not burn? What guides but does not speak?" Lila frowned. "A star." The carvings shimmered, then faded, revealing a path lined with glowing mushrooms. "Not bad," Felix admitted, hopping over a root. "But let's hope these mushrooms aren't trouble." They weren't, but the next obstacle was. A clearing opened before them, filled with twisting shadows. The shapes seemed alive, reaching and curling towards the trio. Astra froze, their glowing form flickering. "They feed on hesitation," Astra whispered. "You have to move quickly or they'll trap you." Lila grabbed Astra's hand. "Come on, we're not stopping now." Felix darted ahead, weaving between the shadows. Lila followed, her grip on Astra firm as the locket's glow cut through the darkness. Each step felt heavier, as if the shadows were trying to pull them back. But then they broke through. On the other side of the clearing, Astra's glow returned, stronger than before. "You're brave," they said to Lila, their voice full of awe. "I don't think I could have made it without you." "Grandma always said courage is doing things even when you're scared," Lila replied, brushing dirt from her knees. Felix smirked. "And having a clever fox helps too?" The traveller smiled faintly, but their expression grew serious. "The hardest part is still ahead. The forest has one final challenge before it will give me back what I've lost." Lila nodded, her curiosity and determination burning brighter than ever. Whatever the challenge, she was ready to face it. The final challenge lay ahead, marked by a massive archway of tangled silver branches. Beyond it, the air shimmered with an otherworldly glow, and the locket hummed louder than ever, as if urging Lila forward. Astra hesitated, their light flickering. This is where they keep it, Astra said softly. The piece of me they stole. What's the catch? Felix asked, narrowing his eyes. Astra's gaze dropped. The shadows won't give it back freely. One of us must face them alone. Lila's heart clenched. But you're still so weak, Astra. Let me. No, Astra interrupted, their voice firmer than before. They took my memories. I must be the one to reclaim them. Before Lila could argue, Astra stepped through the arch. The air inside was thick with darkness, swirling and alive. Lila clutched the locket as its glow grew faint. She could barely make out Astra's silhouette as they reached the center of the clearing, where a swirling orb of light and shadow hovered. The shadows lunged. "Astra!" Lila shouted, but the darkness swallowed her voice. Instinctively, she placed a hand on the locket. Its faint glow grew stronger, projecting a constellation that wrapped around the clearing like a protective shield. Astra looked back, their face full of determination. And something else. "Thank you, Lila," Astra whispered, "for believing in me." With one final burst of light, Astra reached into the orb, shattering it. The shadows recoiled, vanishing into the trees. The clearing transformed. What had been dark and foreboding was now luminous, filled with shimmering starlight. Astra stood tall, their glow no longer flickering but steady and radiant. "You did it," Lila said, her voice trembling with relief. Astra nodded, a soft smile on their face. "I couldn't have done it without you. Or your compass." As they made their way out of the Silverwood, the stars seemed brighter, the air lighter. At the forest's edge, Astra turned to Lila. "Your courage helped me find my way. I hope you'll continue to follow yours." "I will," Lila said, clutching the locket. With a final shimmering bow, Astra disappeared into the night sky, leaving behind a faint trail of stardust. Felix sighed. "Well, that was something." Lila grinned. "Just wait until Clara hears about this." And with that they headed home, the locket now warm against her chest, a quiet reminder of the magic they'd uncovered and the courage it took to find it. The end.